Go.
Hello. So I decided to do my midterm project on how the aspects we learned in class relate to like our everyday lives. I decided to do golf. Now, golf isn't a part of my everyday life like it used to be. When I was little, living back in Arizona, like before I was 11 years old, I used to do it with my dad a decent amount. We used to go out to the course and hit it around a little bit. But nowadays, since we moved to PA, we haven't done it since. So I'm a little rusty, so you have to bear with me. But when we were doing the early parts in class, learning with the 13 points, it actually reminded me a lot of how my dad used to teach me how to drive a golf ball, the stance that we're in. And it's just, I don't know, so I decided to do that, that aspect of golf for my project. So, first we got to learn how to drive a golf ball normally before we can relate it to what we learned in class. So, how do you drive a golf ball? Is that you take your left foot and you line it perfectly up with the ball, and you bring your feet together and then bring them out shoulder width apart. And then you got to relax your feet, relax your knees, relax your hips, bring the shoulders down, look at the ball, because I mean, like in every other sport, you got to look at the ball. You got to know where you're aiming. So when you the reason that you have your this position to the ball is when you strike the golf ball. When you strike it, you want it to be parallel with you. A lot of people think that you want to be like over off the side, so when you hit it, you scoop it, and that's what shoots it up in the air. But a lot of people don't know the clubs are actually made with a little like slant, which scoops the ball for you when it's parallel to you. So it does all the work and it helps you aim because the ball is right in front of you. So anyway, you line it up like this, you bring it down, and like I said, you relax your knees, drop your shoulders, relax your arms, have your thumbs aiming down. You relax, and then you bring it up, and then you strike it. And you drive through like that. And really, when you drive it through, you're not really muscling it, because if you muscle it, it's going to make you inaccurate. You'll probably chunk the grass, like I still do a lot. You're going to chunk it, and in class, it's kind of like we were learning as well, because if you put too much strength behind it, or if you stiffen up to use your muscles, you're just not doing it correct. So how this relates to class is when we were balancing our 13 points with the imaginary balance beam, since my feet are parallel, my weight's being balanced in the arches of my feet, just like in class. Now I remember when he was talking about bending your knees a bit and dropping your shoulders are the same thing that we were doing in class. Now, it doesn't say it in golf, but dropping your head to look at the ball kind of aligns the lower of your back with your crown. So it lines that up pretty well. So anyway, that's how it relates. Now, you can do, and with the stance, you can do the rocking exercise that we learned in class, going back and forth before you find, your balance. And you can feel that imaginary balance beam, man. That's how it relates to the golf stance. Now, when it comes to project and absorb and project, I kind of thought of it when you were driving the ball with your hands, how when you wind up, it's kind of like absorbing. Since you're bringing this arm in, you're absorbing, and this arm is compressing. So it's kind of like an absorb, as we were seeing in class when we were bringing arms in, because this arm's still doing the same motion, and this arm's close. It was close enough for me at least. So bringing it up, and then when we drove through, we kind of project both of our arms. We stick both of our arms out to extend the club, and then it brings out, and you kind of go back into an absorbed state. Same thing as before. It's like a mirror image of the other one. So absorb, project, absorb, and that's what I thought when he was talking to me about absorbing and projecting. It's kind of like pushing out your using your strength through the weight of the club and the alignment of your body. So, yeah. I mean, if you, like I was saying about muscling in class, you're not supposed to, really use your muscles because it anchors you. And at the same time, if your right arm tenses up during the swing, you're not going to, let down all the way and your club's going to go up. That's why when you see a lot of people go down, they either go before, sorry, I didn't want to swing it over my head like that, or they go above it, is because their arms aren't tensed up enough. And you got to be able, like we saw in the videos yesterday in class or last class, how the martial artists rotated their body. They kept their body kind of like the perineum facing the ground, rotating your body. That's kind of what you do in golf. Now, admittingly, it's not exactly parallel because you do have to shift your weight a little bit, mostly when it comes to shifting your weight between your right and left leg. But still, you're more or less rotating your body when you do the swing. Not like in Happy Gilmore where you runs up and hits the ball. You're staying stationary. You're keeping your feet planted on the ground and moving. So yeah, that's how the at least the 13 points in the rocking exercise and absorb and project relate to golf to me. So there's also kind of like I wanted to mention like ebb and flow. Like I mean, admittingly I didn't look too deeply into the book, but it's just like there's kind of like a meditation you get into when you're about to drive the ball. Kind of like how there's quiet when everyone holds up the white card, you know, silences the crowd. And so you do have to kind of get into a meditation state, which kind of makes me feel like we're trying to reach in class. When you want to feel like yin and yang, like rotating in your body, how everything's one. You want to feel like your whole stroke is one big movement instead of like, you know, shifting your knees, bringing down your arms, driving them up. And like instead of doing that, it's just like, I don't know, for some reason I picture like the ball just rotating on like 180 degrees, kind of just like, sorry, kind of just rotating. And that's how I kind of feel like my body, like the club's here, and this is the ball, it rotates down and then it rotates back up. Just a 360 degree rotation of like the metaphorical yin-yang ball in my head. So yeah, so thank you very much. Hopefully this is suffice, and hopefully this is I don't have to take another take after this.